those Sacramento Kings and the Golden State Warriors. That seems like a matchup normally you might overlook.
Well, it's something I think when you look at how fast Sacramento has been playing, the pace they're playing at right now, second in the league, would be 5 possessions per 100 faster than last year's #1 team. And it's remarkable to see what they're doing in terms of getting up and down. De'Aaron Fox, Willie Cauley-Stein, the athleticism of that team, and then obviously the Warriors who like to play at that pace themselves.
I think that's the key. For this team this year for Sacramento, that's why they've been drastically much better. They had all the athletes there last year. Some of them were younger, of course, but they didn't play at a proper pace to take advantage of that. So when you look at Willie Cauley-Stein, Buddy Hield, De'Aaron Fox, who has improved tremendously, he has to be up there for the most improved player of the year award. He has to be up there. So when you look at what's going on out there, the pace they're playing with, these athletes getting out there running in transition, you can see why Sacramento is better. This will be a great litmus test for them because you play against the team that probably plays the best at this pace, and now you see how you stack up against them.
The Warriors have gotten used to playing without Draymond Green and Steph Curry, and after a 4-game losing streak, their longest since 2013, Klay Thompson and Kevin Durant scored 63 points between the two. Just a few minutes ago, Steve Kerr gave us an update on the return of Steph Curry.
We just saw the Steph Curry update come through with the expectation that he should be able to play during the road trip. What do you understand about his progression right now, and how eager are you to get him back?
It was self-explanatory. He's doing much better, and we're just going to, keep taking it day by day. And Rick feels very strongly that he'll play on the road trip, but we don't have anything else to add.
Any Draymond or Alfonso updates?
No. Did we announce anything? No.
Pretty much both out.
Yeah, both out tonight. Yeah.
Steve, to clarify on Steph, how many practice opportunities will there be on the road trip?
I don't know. I don't know yet. I haven't even looked into that, so it's not going to. We'll take the schedule, and if we're not working out, then we'll play some 3-on-3, and if we have enough guys, we'll scrimmage. We'll put Jaren Collins in the pick and roll and see if Steph can beat him off the dribble and make the decision about whether he'll play or not.
You like his chances?
I do. I really like his chances a lot.
Coach, how has your process of dividing up the center minutes been affected by the inevitability that DeMarcus Cousins is going to come in at some point, but you don't know exactly when?
I don't really factor it in. What we're doing right now is going with certain matchups while we're trying to develop Damian. I feel more comfortable with Loon and Jordan just because they've been here and they've got experience. They've played in the finals. They've played enough in this league to really have a good feel. And Damian, you can tell, is up and down. He's done some good things and he's struggled, but we're not going to just take him out of the lineup. We want to continue to give him minutes and to help him grow and help him learn. And so the process is really about giving him an opportunity to grow and keeping the other guys invested and active, and try to win games. So trying to do it all at once.
Steve, how do you feel like Steph has handled all this time off? And I'm guessing you see it being a pretty easy transition, getting him back in the system, given that it was designed for him in a lot of ways.
Yeah. I mean, he's anxious to get back, but he's handled it very well, supporting his teammates and getting his rehab in every day, working really hard. So he's handling it pretty much exactly as you would expect Steph to handle it.
Steve, you mentioned last night that Jordan's play was pretty much the story of the game. Before last night, he had averaged about 5.5 minutes per game. How much does this performance from last night kind of factor into, maybe you'll give him some more minutes moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, it matters. So he'll play some more tonight. He'll definitely play more minutes than 5. I don't know how many he'll play. A lot of this depends on matchups. It would be tough to put him against Steven Adams if we're playing Oklahoma City, but a lot of centers he can match up well with. So we just sort of take it day by day.
Steve.
Kevin said last night after the game that just because you guys played great last night, the NBA is not a fairy tale. You have to build off that and do it again. What's sort of your message? Do you appreciate that message coming from him after a game like that?
Yeah. It didn't just magically happen. I was watching the tape this afternoon, and the defensive activity would have been unrecognizable, in the last 3 or 4 games. So, we always talk about it. You got to fight and compete, and what does that mean? Well, last night it meant we were all over the place defensively, flying around, and that's what it took. But it's going to take that again tonight, and I think that's what Kevin was talking about, and he backed it up. I mean, his defense was the best defense he's played all year, and when he plays with that level of activity, changes everything for us.
Coach, the Kings.
All right, let's take a look at the upcoming schedule presented by NBA 2K19. That's the Golden State Warriors. You see 2 more games at home, and then there's that 5-game road trip. That is significant because you just heard Steve Kerr essentially say one of those games we can expect to see the return of Steph Curry.
Well, I mean, we hope it's very soon, when the return of Steph Curry means a lot to this ball club. I truly wholeheartedly believe that Kevin Durant is the best player on this Golden State Warriors team. But I think Steph Curry is the engine. Steph Curry is the leader of this team. He makes everything go. That little dust-up that happened between KD and Draymond, that doesn't happen if Steph's there, because guess what? Draymond would have gave Steph that ball. So, those type of things, Steph helps to smooth over. I can't wait to see him back. He's obviously one of the best players in the league. He makes this team better. They're going to play better when he gets back, and I'm glad that he's rounding into shape.
Clearly the most selfless superstar in the NBA, and it's that attitude, it's that persona that made it possible for Kevin to want to join that club. They're a joy engine when they're playing well and when they're hitting on all cylinders. And since Steph went out November 8th against Milwaukee, they haven't been the same group spiritually. And everybody wants to say it's the Draymond KD dust-up, but the reality is it's margin for error. The game's a hell of a lot more fun to play when you're running up and down and making threes. And when you've got the ability to run guard splits with Curry and Thompson, it's a little different look than they're able to give. And I thought it was really important what Steve said about Kevin Durant and his defense the other night. When he's right and when he's fully engaged, he can be the kind of defender that is your best rim protector as well, and that's critical for this team.
You mentioned the Warriors' ability to make threes. That's something we've just taken for granted. And you look at where they are right now, they're 10th in the league in three-pointers made per game. And that's with Steph Curry, even missing these 8 games, he's still 2nd in the league in three-pointers made. How much does he affect other guys on the team being able to make their shots and get open looks, because we've seen that tail off since he's been out?
Well, I think a big part of it is that you've understood now how to defend this team in the absence of Steph Curry. It's a whole lot easier to take away Klay Thompson, by way of example. If there's not another guard that you're chasing off of screens, it's a totally different look, Brendan, if you're trying to chase both those guys.
Yeah, and also allows you to shrink the court on Klay Thompson, allows you to shrink the court on Kevin Durant, basically meaning guys, you can come off the weak side, play strong side defense. You don't have to worry about your man as much. With Steph Curry, you have to be close enough to touch him. That opens up these gaping holes. Also, Steph is a great screen setter. So when he sets some of these backside screens and some of those weak side splits that you're talking about, where they're running pin downs and things of that nature, it's totally different if Steph's coming off of it and how the defense reacts. Sometimes the whole defense will shift if Steph simply comes off of a pin down screen. You don't get that type of reaction with other players. So Steph has a huge effect on this team because he creates spacing. You said he's a calming influence. He also creates these gaping holes in your defense.